Hi, guys. Welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you all. My name is Kathryn Kauffman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is where we discuss what and who we are in this journey called life. Okay, so you're probably wondering what this new screen is. I'm waiting for things to get caught up here. I'm trying a new streaming platform. So bear with me. Give me a shout out, you guys, in the comments so that I know that you can see me okay and hear me okay. Big shout out to Patty Ann Kreider, Angel Lee, Taya Moore. Good to see you guys. Awesome to see you here tonight. Shout out to all you guys over here on Instagram. It's awesome to see you guys here this evening. Anything going on? No, not really. Other than, we have really gotten into the Christmas spirit this year, gone all out on decorations, and I really am just really enjoying cooking and, having some scented candles around and making the pomanders and putting those all over the house. I bet there's a pomander in every room. A big shout out over here to Northern Gray, Travel Girl, and KYGS Rider. Good to see you guys. Let's see who all is joining over here on Facebook. Shout out to Christopher Clark. Big shout out to Melissa Begley. Kisses to you, Miss Cleo. Dana Likens Fleener. Oh, yeah, good idea. Angel says, everyone don't forget to peek out and see the Christmas star. It's out. Thank you so much for that. Awesome. Big shout out to Jackie Brown in Las Vegas. What's the weather like out there, Jackie? Shout out to Rob Abbott, my hoodoo buddy. Happy Yule. And big shout out to Laura Day. Awesome to see you guys. Now, and so Jackie says cold here. Oh yeah. And virus still crazy. Absolutely. So I'm looking at two different chat boxes, and the one on the screen is actually updating faster than the one that I'm seeing over here on the side. If I can figure out how to use this streaming thing, this would really be very beneficial. I'm going to flip over here and check to see if these other streams are working. I just want to make sure what it looks like. I want to see what it looks like and make sure it's working okay. So yeah, it looks actually not too bad. I think this is going to be a go. I think it's going to be a go. So yeah, I love it so far. So far, so good. So tonight's episode is going to be about how to connect with your spirit guides. And there's a lot of conflicting stuff out there. So what I tried to do was to put it in like, a step-by-step kind of guide for you. Because I like to save these videos and put them on YouTube. And that way, if somebody has that question in the future, I can just give them a link to the video, because I'm always going over on my my sessions, trying to answer as many questions as possible. And so that's kind of what the talk show is about, is addressing paranormal stuff and spiritual stuff and self-help stuff, so that the answers are there. And if we run out of time on the appointments, then I can just give them links to everything on the YouTube channel so that they can have all their questions answered. So Patty O'Brien says 30 degrees is in Massachusetts and cloudy. So Patty, are you guys going to get snow? Probably. Big shout out to Jacqueline. Good to see you. Awesome to see you. And a special shout out to Christina Bailey. Awesome. Glad you're here. So how do we connect with our spirit guides? And really, I was just talking this afternoon with somebody about this, because she was referring to the voice in her head that's your spirit guide. It is, or a feeling, that's your spirit guide. And we're going to go over that a little bit more in just a minute. Big shout out to my Monday night buddy over here on Instagram, Miss Joy Hall. Happy Monday, JTRS Mama and Sabine DeKunder. I hope I got that right. Let me know how you like this new setup, guys and girls. Let me know if you like it. Special shout out to Helen Drinkwater. So Patty says it'll be warming up to 50 and rain and wind for Christmas. Oh no, we want a white Christmas. We want snow. Shout out to Greta Hanshoe. All right, let's get started. How do we connect with our spirit guides? Well, the first thing you have to do is be open to help and messages that you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. So that means that you can't go in it with a preconceived idea of what you're going to hear or what you want to hear. You really need to ask and be open to what you need to hear. Is there like some kind of lesson there? Is there something negative that you need to work with that, needs to be worked through? So first off, be open to what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. Number 2, don't have preconceived ideas about what you might experience. So some people want to go into this seeing and hearing a certain type of spirit guide. It's best to let those things happen sort of organically. And, a lot of times a spirit guide will present itself in a non-threatening fashion, which is not necessarily as exciting as you would like. Let's say you want to see or hear something really fantastical, but who comes to you in your dream or in a meditation impression is a little old man with a cane. Well, sometimes a spirit guide will present itself in as non-threatening a fashion as possible so that you don't disconnect from the energy stream that's going on between you and them. If you're, the least bit shocked or surprised by the image that they portray to you, that actually can shut off the energy stream. So really be accepting of whatever image they might decide to show themselves, especially if it is kind of common. Big shout out to George McKinney and my son, Michael Lawrence. Good to see you guys. Ina Thompson. And let's see if there's anybody else on here. Great to see you guys. I hope that you guys are liking this new setup here. Let me know if you do or what you think about it. Okay, back to the content. Don't have a preconceived idea of what you're going to see or hear. Just go with the things that are presented to you, however mundane and common they may be. Number 3 is, before you establish contact with or communication with, always open your psychic abilities with a protective prayer. So anytime you're opening an energy stream to another entity, you definitely want to do a protective prayer or protective chant or something, do some kind of psychic protection before you start. Thank you, Michael. He loves the backdrop. So my husband, David, put the lights up on my backdrop. So he's such a good husband. It can be any type of protective prayer that you want. It doesn't matter. It just has to set that layer of energetic protection. And that also sets your intention for the session, is doing that protective chant, prayer, or it can even be a little protective ceremony. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a protective prayer. You could light a candle and do like a little ceremonial protection if you wanted to. Some people light candles and put on, an essential oil or maybe smudge the room before they start. And those are all things that you can definitely do. So it's variable. All you're doing is setting that intention of protection around that energy stream of communication. Now, here's ways to connect. Ina says David did a beautiful job. He sure did, Ina. I just love him to death. Number 4, the main way that you connect with your spirit guides is through a meditative brainwave state. And if you have trouble meditating, it's not a problem. There are so many meditation videos on YouTube to use. And if you want to, you can use Binaural Beats, which is a 2-ear intonation effect. It's based on a technique called brain entrainment, and it automatically switches your brain waves to a meditative brainwave state. So the kind of the technique to use those is you have to use earbuds or headphones to get the technique to work, because it's based on one tone going to this ear and a different tone going to this ear. And you're going to listen to these tones through the earbuds or headphones. And once your brain determines that there's a difference between the two, and it takes roughly about 10 minutes, your brainwaves will automatically change to a meditative brainwave state. It's easy, it's simple, it's automatic. You don't have to do anything but listen, but you have to use these. And they're called binaural beats. And that will put you immediately in a meditative brainwave state. And so you can do meditation the old-fashioned way. So you can do non-structured and the structured one with the binaural beats. You can use a traditional mantra, whatever style you like, as long as you get the effect of the altered brainwave state. Let me check for questions here. Don't see any at the current moment, but if you guys have questions or you want to give your experience, please feel free to just drop them in the comments, and I will try to watch the feed as I go. Big shout out over here to Danae on Instagram, and Michael Durbin, the realtor. Awesome to see you. Good to see you tonight. Let me get some waves going here. I love to wave to my people. Oh, it's a Monday night, ain't it, kids? Monday night. All right. So number 4 was using meditation. Now, when you use meditation, we're going to talk about a different language here in a minute. And that's number 5 is you're going to switch languages. Now, it's not like connecting with your spirit guide is not like us sitting here talking or listening to somebody talk. It's not like that. We need to switch to a different language, and that is the language of the subconscious. Because these messages go through and come from a person's own subconscious, you must speak the language of the subconscious, which is visual images and gut feelings. So when you get a gut feeling that someone is beside you or that your spirit guide might be around, that's direct communication from your subconscious that it has picked up energy around you that represents a certain spirit. Hey to Victoria, awesome to see you. I'm so glad you're here. So the language of the subconscious is what you've got to speak, and that is flashes of visual imagery in the back of your mind. You may hear someone talking to you in the back of your mind, and you may think that that's, your conscience talking to you, but it's really not. That is the spirit guide. So we've got to get used to talking to them in a different language. And so I want you to kind of think about that as you decide to connect and you decide you want a session with your spirit guide or you want to ask for something. Speak their language. Really think about, okay, got to go from talking here to talking here. And that way it will make more sense to you. And so we just have to get used to these other languages. So Ina wants to know, is a spirit guide and a guardian angel the same? A guardian angel when we talk about spirit guides, if you say guardian angel, now some spirit guides have done so much work that they have evolved very close to an angelic form. And so at that point, they become like a guardian angel. And guardian angels are more throughout the lifetime, and spirit guides can come and go. Spirit guides, I find, and this is just my experience, spirit guides I find are different throughout your lifetime because you have different needs. And it seems that there will be certain ones that come forward for different periods of your life. And these spirit guides are human spirits, but they've had some kind of life experience during their lifetime that really helps with whatever situation that you're currently going through. Let's say you have a bad marriage and you're going through a divorce. And it may be that your great-grandmother had the same situation in her life. Maybe her marriage wasn't that great and she stayed in it, but she has that life experience that lends help to you to get through that period of your life that you're going through at the current time. Guardian angels kind of come in and protect you throughout your lifetime, from the time you're young to the time that you pass on. So I hope that answers your question, Ina. Angels are different, and they're a totally different energy. They are not human. And I just, from my experience, I find that, they function in severe cases where you need immediate miraculous help, basically. And you have to be of the most desperate effort to elicit their help, and they will intervene most of the time to get you what you need to have. So thank you, George. He said this is awesome. Thank you, George. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay, now, so we've switched languages. We're listening with, and also listen here. We talked last week about heart math coherence and how the heart's energy is like 10 times stronger than the brain. And listen here. And if this overrides this, go with the heart. So listen here as well. That's another one of the languages that they use, is the heart. Number 6, ask for identifiers. And you're going to have to be patient when you're doing this. Everybody thinks that it's like a conversation like we're having. I see your comments and then I'm trying to get you a answer, but it's not like that. You have to ask for identifiers of who they are and what their intentions are, and then you got to be patient waiting for the response, because in spirit they can only use the finite amount of energy that's in the environment to manifest paranormal phenomena. So sometimes you may ask for an identifier and you may not get it till later that afternoon, when the energy is higher in the environment, for them to produce some kind of phenomena for you to see a validation of who they are. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if it didn't. I'll try to explain it a little bit better. Shout out to Mitzi Tribble. Good to see you. Let me check and make sure I'm answering all the questions. And let's see. Shout out to Holly Spencer, Travel Girl, and Domestic Diva Kentucky, and Northern Gray. Awesome to see you guys over here on Instagram. Okay, so we definitely want identifiers of who they are and what benefit or what intention they have towards you, and then be willing to wait for the validation of that. Number 7 is you can augment your communication with gemstones. If you feel like the energy stream to them is kind of weak, you can definitely amp this up with gemstones. And why would the energy stream be weak? Okay, some days the energy in the environment is not as strong, and when you try to connect, you're not going to get much back. You're not going to get a good connection or energy stream to them. And it'll be a downer, guys. It's kind of depressing. But if you know to augment that energy stream with gemstones, because they can definitely amplify the energy stream from you to your spirit guide, it's one of the things that you can do to connect better. Now, there are other days when the energy stream or the energy in the environment is really high and connection just happens automatically and quickly. And that's like 72 hours before a full moon or 72 hours before a new moon. That is the easiest time to get messages or get maybe paranormal phenomena to happen. So what gemstones can we use to augment communication? And these are just samples of a few. The main one that I like to use is amethyst. Let me get you guys over on Instagram here to see it. So this is it's a light colored amethyst, but it's a really, really nice one that I like to use to amplify the communication. Amethyst is a quartz, and it definitely has connotations of spiritual connections. And so this is one of the best ones I feel like to use if your connection is weak, if the energy stream is weak. Grab yourself some amethyst and start with that. The next one is one of my favorites, is just a plain quartz crystal. And this is definitely one that I use. It's a self-healed crystal. And so I use this a lot to amplify and augment communication with spirit guides, or just for channeling in mediumship. This is a really good one to use as well. So just a plain quartz crystal is wonderful to use. A couple of other ones. Selenite is another good one to use to amplify communication. And another thing that selenite can do is, remember we were talking about establishing a protective prayer, chant, or even a ritual before you start communication. And this is a good one to have to add to that protection when you are doing, let's say, a protective ritual before you start with your channeling to your spirit guide. Another one that I like to use is angel light. And this is just an angel light sphere. There are different kinds of angel light that you can get. This is just a sphere. And I like to have this beside me when I'm working with like guardian angel or actually angel spirit. This is a very good one to get. So let's see what other questions we have. Cesaria Luna, good to see you. And Melissa Dozer Newman, good to see you. Erica Page says, when doing shadow work and you're visited by a spirit and the situation is a little unsettling, is this a guide? Ooh, you'll have to give me more details, Erica. My question to you is, did you use a protective prayer before you start, or protective ritual? Because if you don't, you're certainly opening an energy stream channel. That's what you're doing. And so that's why we ask for validation of who it is. And we open with that protective prayer or protective ritual, is because we only want spirit guide, guardian angel, or angelic energies for our communication. We don't want anything else. So let me know, Erica, if you have any other details that I can determine what it was. And so really, like, if your gut feeling was unsettled, was it the image of what they showed you that was unsettling? Because usually they're going to show you some kind of imagery that is pleasing and not disturbing to establish communication with you. So Tristan, Indigo Ray, good to see you. Absolutely. Gratitude and peace to you too. Let's see. Erica says, I did use protective stones and said a prayer. They gave me a name. Then it possibly could be. You'll have to let me know, like, what was it about that communication or situation that was unsettling? That might give us a clue to, what this was, maybe. Okay, I'm looking for questions. So Domestic Diva Kentucky says, what is the prayer we should say? Okay, great, great, great. So I tell you what I'll do, Domestic Diva Kentucky, I will send you a PDF on direct message that lists the protective psalms that you can use. And you can use these protective psalms for other things as well. And it'll give a whole listing of the psalms and the number of the psalms that you can use. Hope that answers your question. Anyway, this is one of my favorite ones, Angel Light. And someone was asking earlier about grounding stones. So Christina wants to know, is citrine good? Yes, it is. It's a quartz. And so that will amplify the energy too, and it will bring in the element of success and creativity as well. So you got to look at all of the qualities of the stones that you're working with. I'm going back to see who it was that asked about the grounding stones, or oh yeah, and what are some good grounding stones? I personally like to use pipestone, red jasper, brown agate, anything that has a rich, deep, earthy tone. And as you know, grounding simply means being in contact with the earth, getting that resonance, Schumann resonance from the earth, entraining your energy to it, and using those stones to bring your energy slower and more connected with the resonance of the planet. So all of those stones that really have like a planetary influence. You can also use green stones, although those are more cooling because they have the bluer tones in there. But certainly greener stones like jade, green aventurine, turquoise, all of those are good grounding stones as well. But really, my ultimate favorite is brown agate for grounding. Brown tourmaline is a great one for grounding too. Really, really good. So Rob says, in Conjure Hoodoo, I petition the ancestors specifically saying those that are both known and unknown, but only those that are willing to aid and assist. Psalms 91, 1 through 4. So Domestic Diva, that would be one of the psalms that you could use. Rob has listed here. Thank you so much, Rob. Psalm 91, 1 through 4. So yeah, the Psalms, there's a whole page of protective Psalms that you can use, Domestic Diva Kentucky. And I will definitely DM that to you after the show. Hey to Jay Rabbit, good to see you. Okay, back to the thing. Number 7 is augment with communication with gemstones. Number 8 is increasing the energy stream with religious objects. If you have any type of religious objects or an altar, let's say you have an altar and that's where you do your protective ritual before you start, that's an excellent way to increase the energy stream, is to the use of a religious object or an altar while you're doing this kind of work. So you can use any kind of religious object like pictures, crosses, rosaries, anything like that, candles, all of those really augment that energy stream of connection from you to them. Number 9, okay, when you're done with your session, you're always going to close with a protective prayer or that protective ritual. This makes sure that nothing else can be attracted to the energy stream and tag along in. So let's say you're doing a protective ritual, you definitely want to smudge or do the prayer through the room or on the altar before you close. And that way can make sure that nothing else has tagged into the energy stream. Number 10, sharpen your awareness for signs. Now, what's the best sign is numbers. Okay, so numbers are the universe's language. Wherever you go on this planet, numbers are the same. So, like if you are let's say you're in London today at 5 o'clock and I ask you to look at the clock, it's going to say 5 o'clock. And then if you hop on the train or a plane and you go to Australia, it's still going to say 5 o'clock. 5 is still 5, no matter where you go. So numbers remain static, and the vibration of the number remains static. And so there are meanings behind that, and that's the easiest way that your spirit guides have of getting you messages. So I'm trying to watch two different streams here on the chat, so I apologize if I miss anybody's question. So Cesaria Luna says, I know I am blocked, so how would I release? Okay, Cesaria, what I would do if I were you is I would go onto Insight Timer, and that's an app that you can get for free on, you can get it on Play Store or iTunes. Now there's a paid version of it, but you don't have to use the paid version. You can use it for free. But when you go onto the app, just type in the search bar, letting go. There will be tens of dozens of letting go meditations that help you work on that, because being blocked is something that happens over time, and it's something that you have to work on daily to remove those subconscious blocks that may be put there. And so these letting go meditations can really help you work through that and disconnect from the energy that has been put there with the block. Also, another thing that you can do is sometimes energy cord cutting ceremonies or rituals are really beneficial in allowing a person to let go and to use that energy of letting go to remove the blocks. However, I will say this, the best technique to getting unblocked, I have to recommend, is certified hypnotherapy. If you really want to know where the block came from, how it got there, and how your psyche is using that, hypnotherapy is absolutely hands down the best at getting rid of that and helping you work on it for the future. Because what the hypnotherapist can do is actually regress you to the point where the block occurred or the block was placed. And they can help you work through that moment to understand why that has occurred. And then they can help you by, let's say, implanting a post-hypnotic suggestion that the next time you experience a trigger or feel the block, that you respond a certain way that you'd like to respond rather than the way that you've conditioned yourself to respond with the block. So I hope that helps. Okay. Comments are going by real fast. Hang on. Special shout out to Jackie Brown and Denise Audie. So Jackie wants to know, have you ever done a presentation on animal spirit guides? No, but Jackie, how about I put that on the list of things to do? And so, the ideas for these shows come from you guys. So if there's something that you want to know, please put it in the comment. I will put it on the list of things to do. So let's see, animal spirit guides, Jackie. Let me jot that down and we'll put it on the list to do, because definitely animals can be huge benefits as far as spirit guides go. And actually, Rob Abbott, you want to help me with that one? Putting that out there. Hey to Mark Grogan. So Jacqueline says, can you cut energy ties between two people if you aren't one of them? Jackie, if you have an energy connection to one or both of the people, you definitely can work on it. Does it 100% effectively work? No, but not all the time, but I have seen it work on occasion. And so it's not hard to do. And as long as you're doing it for the benefit, of the person or persons, it really, in other words, you don't have anything to lose. So why not try it? Especially if you feel like it might help. So Cesaria says, yes, I heard about hypnotherapy. Definitely look into it. Now, if you're living in the Lexington area, and I think that this person does remote sessions, I use personally, and I recommend Live Today Hypnosis. Very, very professional, very reputable. And one of the best techniques that I've come across in the last 10 years. So, hey to Amber, my neighbor over here. So she says, I feel that I've been guided by more than one spirit. So do I have it correct that there are many spirit guides for each of us? Absolutely. And they come and go as you need them in different times of life. So let me check for questions over here on Instagram. So Michelle says, any recommendations for hypnotherapists? Live Today Hypnosis here in Lexington. And I do believe that he does remote sessions, Michelle. Jay Rabbit says, does cord cutting help with the isolated headaches? I am manifesting psychic mediumship and read that headaches are messages trying to come through. I'm not sure how to properly shift from the band. Whew, okay, let me speak to my experience, Jay. My experience is that some spirits only can communicate through feeling, okay? And sometimes the only feeling that they can give you is how they passed or what their physical situation was right before they died. And so let's say if you have somebody who shot themselves in the head, I will get a terrible, 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 terrible migraine and not be able to function the rest of the day. I will do it's like a cord cutting, but it's more of like a cleansing bath, cleansing salt bath. And if I can remember, I'll send you a link to the salt bath on DM. But you definitely have to disconnect with that spirit or entity. Now, I definitely have to stay connected if I'm doing a session for somebody. And then at the end of the session, I'm sick for the rest of the afternoon. So that's why I only do mediumship on Wednesdays and Thursdays after 1 p.m. Because what happened was I started finding out that if I got sick, let's say I did a mediumship too early in the morning and I got sick from it, then I had to end up canceling the rest of the sessions for the afternoon. And that's disappointing for everybody who's been waiting to get in to see me. So what I decided to do was I picked out the slowest days of the week for scheduling, and I dedicate those to mediumships, and that's Wednesdays and Thursdays. And then I only do it after 1 p.m. because if I get sick, then I don't have to cancel anybody for the afternoon and I can just go and lay down. So, Jay, it's hard. It's hard doing mediumship, especially if you have the physical symptoms of it. And so what I'll do is I'll send you, Jay, a PDF on clairsentience to help you shield and block, and a cutting cord ceremony that you can do, and the cleansing PDF. So hopefully I can get all three of those PDFs to you on DM. And I hope that helps. Hey to Sam Catch. Good to see you. All right. So Rob says he'll help me. Yay. Patty Ann wants to know, what's the app called for letting go? Insight Timer. And it has a little picture on the app of like a Tibetan bowl. And then when you get into the app, just type in the search bar, letting go. There will be tons and tons of free meditations that come up specifically on letting go. And what I like to do is I like to start out each day. This is what I do. I start out each day with one of those letting go meditations, because as clairsentients and psychics, I have to remind myself not to attach to things during the day that are not for me, you know. And so if I start out the day with one of those meditations, it kind of keeps me on track and keeps me from getting connected with things that I don't need to be connected with. Okay, so number 10 was sharpen your awareness for signs. We were talking about numbers being the easiest way of communication. One of the best books that I've found to interpret the numbers is Synchronicity Numbers by Anne Marie Uber. The book is on Amazon. And the reason that I found this book is because, for years I would look up online the angel numbers, and I would look up totally different numbers. And it kept being like, it was saying the same thing or something similar, and it just didn't feel right. And I was like, how can this number and this number mean the same thing if they have different resonant vibrations? And when I found this book, it gives you a different vibration and meaning for each and every number, which really resonated with me. And I feel like it is probably one of the best references that you can get right now to figure out what they're trying to tell you with the numbers. So you can also get signs through small animals, birds, insects. Now, the animal, bird, insect is not the thing that's trying to communicate with you. What the spirit guide will do is to influence the electromagnetic field of the brain of the insect, bird, or small animal. And they will do that to make this small bird, animal, or insect act in such an odd way to get your attention. Okay, that's how they do that. Because spirits are electromagnetic, they can certainly manipulate the electromagnetic field of any kind of small brain in an insect, bird, or small animal. So be aware and sharpen your awareness. Look for these things, especially if you're putting out there a question or a concern for your spirit guide to help you with. Other signs, let's say someone is influenced to say a certain phrase, and you're in a conversation with somebody and they say a certain phrase that might have meaning to you that comes from the spirit guide. Seeing a picture or a photo, I will never forget, after my mom died, I asked for a sign of a white dove. And at first, we were going to have her funeral at this particular funeral home, and they changed it at the last minute. And I was upset, actually, that they had changed it because I wasn't expecting that. And after I walked in, there was a huge picture of a white dove on the wall. And to me, that was the sign. So, but if we had not changed the venue, I would not have seen that. And so these things get put in your path for you to pick up on, but you have to be aware and you have to be paying attention. So if someone is influenced, let's say the electromagnetic field of your brain could be influenced to say a particular phrase for someone. And so the spirit guide may be working through you to get that person the phrase that they need to hear. So paranormal phenomena is another sign. Maybe a picture is turned over. Maybe objects are moved that have meaning or connected to the person who's passed on, who's acting like a spirit guide. Or maybe music comes on the radio or over the TV that has a special meaning for you that day. That can be a sign too. I hope all this is making sense. Okay, number 12, ask for daily direction. These guides are not here to just hang out and, watch you go through life. It helps them evolve if they can achieve things to help you out. It helps you, it helps them as well. So please ask them for daily direction. It's hard on this planet, man. We need all the help we can get. Okay, 13, accept that you might need to change, especially here, or learn a lesson. So if you're going through your day and you're about to do something that's questionable, and you hear in the back of your mind, maybe you shouldn't do that, or, maybe don't be so hard on the other person because maybe they're having a hard day. Maybe they've got more problems than you know about. That's the spirit guide working to keep you on an evolved path, okay? And really listen to that. That's daily guidance, you guys. Except that you might need to change or learn a lesson. Maybe you're not right all the time. Maybe you're wrong about something. Really listen to what's coming through, okay? Really consider it. Don't let the ego displace the voice or the impression of that spirit guide that's trying to get you on the path of evolving your own spirit. Take a real hard look in the mirror at improvements that you should make, or concessions that you need to make, maybe even apologies you need to make. You have to be open to that, and it takes some humility to do that. Number 14 is the last one, is you really have got to practice dream recall. Dream recall is another way that your spirit guides can effectively communicate with you, and you need to be evaluating your dreams on a regular basis to, see what kind of information is coming through there. It can also help you evaluate your level of stress. And so if you're having more dreams about war or fighting or running or being chased or traumatic stuff, that's okay. It's your subconscious trying to deal with the stresses of everything that's going on in life. It's okay to have those kind of dreams, but realize, if I'm having these dreams on a regular basis, maybe there's something that I need to do further in the waking time to cope with the stresses that are building up in the subconscious. So there may be something that you could do, like, walking, swimming, or some other coping mechanism like grounding that you could do in your waking time that would make your sleep a little bit less restless. Let me check for last minute questions. Awesome. Okay. I hope I remember. I think that there's a way I can go back on Instagram and see who all has messaged me so that I can DM them. But listen, you guys on Instagram, if I can't go back and see who all has made comments on the show, please DM me and I will remember to get you all the stuff that you need, okay? Let's check for any last minute questions here. I think that's it. I hope this has helped you guys out. Again, let me know if you like the new look and the platform and whatever. Also, hit the share button on your screen right now. I really would appreciate you guys share this out to people that might need the information. There's a lot of people that need help. And really, it's very simple to get help. We just have to get the information out there, and sharing it out is one of the ways that you can do that. Thank you, Christina. And thank you, Melissa. Also, all of these shows are loaded onto my YouTube channel. And so there's a bunch of past shows that are really cool to watch. Like there's a show on why are spirits still here. There's a 5-part series on shadow people and how to deal with them and different types of shadow people. There's shows on black-eyed children. There's all kinds of really cool shows. I'm going to challenge you guys to go on the YouTube channel and find the show in the Monday Night Live playlist on the Body Buffet. That's probably the freakiest thing that I've put on the channel. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell so you get notified of all the new videos that are coming out. And I really love that you guys are tuning in on Monday nights. It's so good to see you here. I really enjoy this. Now remember, next Monday night, I'm taking a holiday night off, but I will be coming back the week after that. And in the meantime, if you have any questions that you want presented on the show, message me and let me know that you have interest in certain areas that you want to see presented. And I will definitely put them on the list to do. Thank you, Patty Ann. In the meantime, kisses from Kentucky. And I will see you guys, not next Monday night, but the Monday after. Happy Christmas, happy holidays, and Happy New Year. I'm so glad to have shared 2020 with you, and I'm looking forward to sharing 2021 with you too. Bye, guys. See you later.